Sleep Yoga Episode 7. Can an emotion dissolve without being suppressed? How to feel emotions without suppressing or acting them out. An emotion can become a sentence we regret, a door we close too quickly, or a dream that follows us into morning. Most of us know two ways to meet it: act it out or push it down. The Tibetan teachings describe two further possibilities. We can cultivate a wiser response. And when awareness is stable, emotion can arise and release without leaving another karmic trace. Can anger be felt without becoming our next action? Can fear move through the body without becoming the author of the next hour? That is the question of today's episode. Welcome to Sleep Yoga, a Dragonlight Alchemy series exploring dream, sleep, awareness, and clear light through the Tibetan Bon teachings presented by Tenzin Wangyal Rinpoche. In the previous episode, we examined grasping and aversion, the reaching and resisting that make experience feel solid and help construct the self who stands at its center. Today we will remain close to the moment after an emotion has already appeared. The feeling is here. What happens next? Before going further, it helps to separate two events that usually arrive together. There is the emotion itself. Heat, pressure, trembling, heaviness, a change in the breath, an image, a thought, an impulse. Then there is the response built around it. The explanation, the accusation, the withdrawal, the effort to preserve the feeling or make it disappear. Because these movements happen quickly, we often mistake them for one event. I am angry begins to mean, I must speak from anger. I am afraid begins to mean, the future is as dangerous as fear says it is. Dream Yoga asks us to become intimate with the small interval between arising and response. At first, that interval may last only one breath. Yet within it, karma can begin to move differently. Tenzin Wangyal Rinpoche explains emotional response through the teaching of karmic traces. A tendency formed in the past meets a present condition and ripens as thought, bodily sensation, emotion, or an impulse toward action. The feeling is not arriving from nowhere. It belongs to a continuity. The present moment matters because the way we meet that ripening can reinforce the old tendency, plant another tendency, or when awareness is sufficiently stable, allow the movement to release without producing a further trace. The first possibility is familiar. We act from the emotion. Someone criticizes us and anger answers before we have fully heard what was said. A person we love becomes distant and fear begins interrogating, clinging, or preparing to leave first. Envy appears and the mind diminishes another person's life so that our own pain will be easier to bear. Expression can bring a brief sense of relief because the pressure has found a direction. But the visible discharge is not the end of the event. The action affects other people, changes the situation, and trains the mind. Each repetition makes the same road easier to travel. This does not mean anger must never be expressed or that strong speech is spiritually inferior. Anger may reveal a violated boundary. Fear may recognize real danger. Grief may need witness. There are moments when direct action is necessary. The question is whether awareness is choosing the response, or whether the emotion has seized the whole field. A clear boundary and an angry attack may both use firm words. Their inner quality is different. One answers what the moment requires. The other carries the force of every previous wound that has joined the present event. The second possibility is suppression. Suppression can look calm from the outside. We smile, change the subject, become efficient, or tell ourselves that a spiritual person should be beyond the feeling. Nothing is shouted. No one sees the struggle. Inside, the mind has declared part of experience unacceptable. The book describes suppression as a form of aversion, a tightening that forces experience out of conscious view. The emotion has not been liberated. It has been hidden. It may return as judgment, bodily tension, compulsive distraction, a later outburst, or a dream whose atmosphere carries what the waking identity refused to know. Choosing not to act is not the same as suppressing. We can refrain from sending the message and still admit that we are furious. We can leave a conversation without pretending that nothing happened. We can wait until the body is steadier before speaking while remaining honest about the feeling. Suppression says, "This must not be here." Restraint says, "This is here and I do not have to let it choose the action." That difference is one of the foundations of emotional freedom. There is a third response: cultivate an antidote. In the book's example, another person's anger awakens our anger. Instead of returning it or driving it underground, we pause and remember that the other person is also being moved by conditioning. Compassion may then become possible. At first, this response can feel deliberate and awkward. The body is not naturally offering compassion. The mind may still be preparing its defense. Yet a conscious response plants a different seed. Compassion does not mean approving harmful behavior. It may take the form of patience, a clear boundary, or a refusal to humiliate someone who is already lost in reaction. Its first expression may be simple: do not add more harm. With repetition, a more spacious response becomes familiar. What once required effort may eventually arise with less struggle. The mind is being retrained. This is positive karma. It can transform relationships and reduce suffering. It offers a practical path when full liberation of the emotion is beyond our present capacity. The teaching, however, does not end with replacing a painful habit with a beneficial one. Even a positive tendency remains a tendency. It guides us toward a wiser response, but it still belongs to conditioned movement. The deeper aim is freedom from being pushed or pulled by conditioning at all. This brings us to self-liberation. The term can be misunderstood when it is removed from the Dzogchen context in which the book presents it. Self-liberation does not mean that a separate self performs a technique on an emotion and successfully makes it vanish. It is not a more refined form of control. It does not require us to detach from the body or wait with hidden impatience for the feeling to end. In the complete teaching, the practitioner remains in nondual awareness, rigpa, free from grasping and aversion. Emotion arises within that awareness and releases within it. Nothing is added to prolong the movement and nothing is pushed away. The karmic seed has manifested, but no new seed is planted through reaction. Rinpoche offers the image of a bird crossing open space. The bird appears, moves and passes. The sky does not retain a path. The image is beautiful, but it should not become another demand. For most of us, when anger crosses the mind, it leaves many trails. We replay what happened, rehearse what should have been said, imagine future conversations, and build an identity around the one who was injured. The first emotion may have lasted only a short time. The story keeps rebuilding it. Or we resist the emotion and begin monitoring ourselves. Is it gone yet? Why am I still feeling this? Am I failing at the practice? That resistance renews the movement in another form. Self-liberation points to a condition in which the usual struggle does not form between a self who must control the feeling and a feeling that must be controlled. The emotion is neither followed nor rejected. Without grasping or aversion creating the next link, the movement releases within awareness. Each time a karmic tendency ripens without being grasped, acted upon, or pushed away, it loses some of the strength that repetition once gave it. Nothing new is added to sustain the old road. This is more profound than ordinary emotional regulation. It rests on direct recognition of the nature of mind and traditionally belongs within transmission, guidance, and sustained practice. A 3-breath exercise should not be confused with realization in rigpa. That honesty does not make the simple practice insignificant. We may not remain in stable non-dual awareness, but we can begin to loosen the automatic bond between emotion, identity, and action. We can learn the difference between knowing a feeling and becoming its servant. We can discover how sensation changes when it is not immediately converted into a story. This is where our practice begins. Imagine receiving a message that awakens anger. Perhaps the words are dismissive. Perhaps they touch an older wound. The hand moves toward the keyboard before the body has caught up. Pause. The first breath is for contact. Feel what has actually appeared. Heat in the face. Pressure in the chest. A held breath. Energy in the hands. Do not begin with the history of the relationship. Do not decide whether the anger is justified. Meet the immediate experience before explanation takes over. The second breath is for recognition. Notice the impulse inside the emotion. Does it want to attack, prove, withdraw, punish, be reassured, or force an answer? Name the movement quietly if that helps. Anger, fear, defending, aversion. The word is a light, not a label placed upon the self. The third breath is for space. Do not require the emotion to change. Let it be present without giving it the next action. Notice whether its texture shifts on its own. Heat may spread or cool. Tightness may move. The impulse may remain strong. The practice is still complete if nothing dramatic happens. After 3 breaths, ask, what does this moment actually require? You may need more time. You may need to speak firmly, apologize, ask a question, leave, seek help, or set a boundary. Awareness does not guarantee a gentle outward response. It makes a more accurate response possible. Different emotions move at different speeds. Fear may remain even after the mind recognizes that the feared future has not happened. Grief may return in waves and should not be treated as a problem that 3 breaths ought to solve. Shame may hide beneath defensiveness or the desire to disappear. The purpose is not to force any of them toward a preferred ending. It is to know the experience without allowing it to define the whole person or dictate the next act. A mistake may require accountability. Harm may require repair. Neither requires us to turn one action into an unchanging essence. I caused harm can open the way to responsibility. I am nothing but harm closes the door through which repair would have to enter. An emotion is real as experience. It may carry information and have consequences in the body and in relationships. It still does not possess the authority to become our entire identity. The dream state makes this visible in an unusual way. In a dream, emotion can create an entire world around itself. Fear becomes an approaching presence or a door that will not close. Longing becomes something always disappearing beyond reach. Anger becomes a conflict whose beginning we cannot remember. While dreaming, we rarely question the atmosphere. The feeling convinces us that the story is true, and the story gives the feeling more force. The same feedback occurs during the day, only the scenery changes more slowly. A sensation appears. The mind explains it. The explanation intensifies the sensation. Soon we are living inside a world shaped by the emotion as completely as we inhabit a nighttime dream. The Mother Tantra links awareness in experience with awareness in action, dream, and the bardo. When we are unconscious in waking experience, habit governs our behavior. The same karmic traces then govern the worlds of dream. Daytime emotional practice is therefore not separate from dream yoga. It prepares the mind that will fall asleep tonight. If we always act from fear while awake, we train the dream self to flee. If we continually suppress anger, it may return at night in forms the waking identity cannot control. When we practice recognizing emotion without immediate reaction, that familiarity may eventually appear in dream. A frightening figure approaches, and instead of running at once, there is a pause. A dream character insults us, and anger is recognized before the dream becomes a battle. An object of longing appears, and for one moment we remember that wanting does not make the dream more real. That pause may become a doorway to lucidity. Even when the dream does not become lucid, morning reflection can reveal the emotional habit being rehearsed. The deeper work is not to decode every object. It is to recognize the causes of the dream and our relationship to what appears. What did the emotion ask you to do? Did you obey it, hide it, transform the response, or find a moment of space? The dream becomes a place to study continuity rather than a verdict about the self. Tonight, before sleep, review one emotional moment from the day. Choose something manageable. Do not begin with the most overwhelming experience of your life. See the scene briefly. Notice where the feeling appears in the body now. Then remember the 4 possible movements: acting from it, suppressing it, cultivating a skillful response, and allowing it at the deepest level to release within awareness. Do not judge which one occurred. Honesty is more useful than spiritual performance. Say quietly, "This emotion arose through causes and conditions. It is present and it is changing." Then form an intention for the night. If this feeling appears in a dream, may I recognize it before I am carried away. In the morning, write down the dream before interpretation. Note the emotional atmosphere, the bodily mood on waking, and the action taken by the dream self. Was there pursuit, escape, attack, hiding, clinging, or a moment when another response became possible? Some nights will reveal no clear connection. Some mornings will bring no dream memory. The daytime practice is still doing its work. Dream yoga is built through continuity, not through forcing an extraordinary result. When emotion is overwhelming, connected with trauma or dissociation, or linked with immediate danger, 3 breaths may not create enough space. Safety, grounding, trusted support, therapy, medical care, or qualified spiritual guidance may be needed. Non-reaction should never be used to keep someone in harm. Leaving, seeking help, and naming what is happening can be clear and compassionate actions. Begin with emotions you can feel while remaining oriented to the room, the body, and the present moment. Practice where awareness still has room. Over time, recognition may begin to arrive earlier. At first, we notice after the message has been sent or the door has been closed. Later, awareness appears while the reaction is unfolding. Eventually, we may feel the first heat of anger or tightening of fear before a complete identity has formed around it. The emotion remains real, but awareness has entered the same space. This is not yet the traceless passage described in the highest teaching. It is the beginning of a different intimacy with experience. We stop treating emotion as an enemy to defeat or a ruler to obey. We learn its movement, its conditions, and the stories through which it tries to continue. The emotion may soften. It may remain and require wise action. It may return many times because the trace is old and deeply practiced. None of these outcomes determines whether the practice was sincere. The measure is simpler. Did awareness enter before the old pattern completed itself in exactly the same way? That small entrance matters. It changes what is rehearsed during the day and what the mind carries toward sleep. It prepares the possibility that, within a dream, we may one night recognize an emotion before it becomes an unquestioned world. For the next 7 days, use the 3-breath practice once a day with a strong but manageable feeling. Feel it in the body. Delay explanation. Do not act for 3 breaths. Then notice what changed and what the moment requires. Before sleep, remember one emotional moment and set the intention to recognize the same movement in dream. The purpose is not to become someone who never feels anger, fear, jealousy, grief, or shame. A life without emotion is not the promise of the path. The freedom being cultivated is more intimate. Emotion can arise without becoming identity, command, or unquestionable truth. An emotion may arrive from causes we did not consciously choose. Practice begins in the way we meet it. Acting from the feeling, suppressing it, and cultivating a skillful antidote each leave a different imprint. The deepest teaching points towards self-liberation in non-dual awareness, where the movement releases without further grasping, aversion, or a new karmic trace. Our 3 breaths are not a substitute for that realization. They are a humble preparation. A way of inviting awareness into the moment before emotion becomes behavior, identity, and dream. In the next chapter of Sleep Yoga, Episode 8, What is Dream Yoga actually for? We will step back from technique and ask about the destination of the path. Is dream yoga meant to produce vivid experiences and greater control, or is the dream being used to prepare consciousness for a deeper freedom? Subscribe to Dragon Light Alchemy. Carry this light into your practice and follow the Sleep Yoga series into the next teaching. Until then, stay close to the moment before feeling becomes story and carry this question with you. What happens when an emotion is allowed to move without becoming a story? This week's practice. When a strong but manageable emotion arises, feel it in the body. Do not explain it immediately. Do not act for 3 breaths. Notice whether its texture, intensity, or impulse changes on its own. Then ask, what does this moment actually require? Before sleep, recall one emotional moment and set the intention. If this feeling appears in a dream, may I recognize it before I am carried away? Carry this question. What happens when an emotion is allowed to move without becoming a story? Next in the series, Episode 8, What is Dream Yoga actually for? Subscribe to Dragonlight Alchemy and follow